Thank you for tuning in to the Helium Radio Network. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
All right, guys, welcome to Sessions with Sarah with Dr. Sarah. I'm here with Rachel Maylock from the Battle Women camp, and we are going to talk about self-defense and women having self-defense. Like, for sure, before COVID, I was always taking the train, right? Mm-hmm. And it's scary, like the people, I'm always like double watching, but I would not know how to defend myself. So yeah, what is it that got you into this? You have a story about a train actually too. You almost got attacked.
Yeah, I was trapped on a subway car. Mm-hmm. I lived in New York City for 20 years actually. And my first year or so there, I'm a musician, originally I have a music degree. So I moved to New York to sing opera, and I was coming
Yeah. Stop. This badass woman's an opera singer on top of it all. Okay.
That's a skill too. That stops people in their tracks. I was coming from a rehearsal and I was studying my music. I made, the big mistake of not paying attention. I was on the first car, depending on how you look at it. And that's where the transients hang out. And I just didn't notice. Of course, I'm wearing heels and a skirt and music. Right. All the things that you shouldn't do, I did. 23, 24 years old.
Right.
This guy, I looked up. I looked up only because food started hitting my leg. And
was he throwing it at you? What the hell?
He was throwing food at me. It was disgusting. Mm-hmm. And I looked up and I was like, oh my God, I'm alone. Mm-hmm. I'm this guy, and he's clearly doped up. Right. Eyes were and he was big, and I thought, what am I going to do? And I tried to get off, and every time I tried to stand up, he would stand up and he would look at me.
I would be so freaking out.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Rachel, today is not your day. Since then, I've said that many times. Unfortunately, today is not your day. Mm-hmm. And I just waited. I tried to get up a few times. He did the same thing. He looked in my eyes, and I was like, right.
Freaking out.
Sit there. So at one point I thought, okay, there's train stops between stations, but I lived all the way at the tip of Manhattan at that point. I was practically in the Bronx. I was like 189 or something.
Oh, way out there.
Mm-hmm. All the way up there. And I picked up a dinner roll that he'd been throwing at me, and I threw it back at him, but I threw it next to him, so he had to bend down and pick it up.
Yeah.
The minute he did that, I made a run for the doors between cars, and I went through there. Luckily, there were a couple people on there. One was a guy who saw my face, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I am not okay."
Oh my God.
And he kind of took me under his wing. He had a guitar, so I knew he was okay.
You like, I sing opera.
Yeah, I'm like, he's in a band. He's cool. Right. So he walked me off the train into safety, but he came through the door right after me, and I thought, oh my God, if no one
was there, oh my God,
what do you do?
Right.
And unfortunately, that wasn't the first, and it wasn't the last time that I was accosted, that I have been threatened, grabbed. I mean, I have been physically assaulted, and I have defended myself. I know what I'm talking about.
When it happened.
So I started training, maybe 2 or 3 years later at a school in Westchester, amazing school that specialized as a hybrid martial arts school.
Okay.
I started 9 years, and I got my black belt. And
oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with you.
But I trained with these big guys. I trained with women, but you practice every day getting beat up and beaten on in a controlled, fun, safe environment.
Right.
Yeah. And it was fun, and they're your friends, and you study and you workshop it, and you get so what I loved about it is, okay, I'm learning things that are going to help me in my life.
Right.
So I'm angry at work. I'm stressed, and it got all of that out. Right. Like I was able to learn control and have, my mental state be calm.
I need that.
Yeah. And
especially in the pharmacy. Some of those people come in that are like that. Like that's where I feel my most fear,
Right. People who want something. So that's what I say about self-defense. It's like, it's really easy to say, oh, you're just going to do this move in this situation. Well, every situation's different. Like pharmacy, right? I have people that drive Uber, women, or like, what do I do? And I'm driving this Uber, and and then we work it out. But you have to be able to think, keep calm in the moment, take deep breaths, and react appropriately, measured, right? You don't want to go all crazy when you don't need to. Like there are reasons where you're not in immediate danger. You really are not. The guy's just a jerk. And let me clarify something. It could be females also, right? I've had scenarios where I've had women, not often, but women aggressors, which is fascinating to me. But that's a whole.
What is it about you that attracts people that want to like come after you?
I think I'm 5 feet tall. I think.
Oh, you're tiny.
I'm tiny, got long blonde hair, and I mean, listen, I do have bitchy resting face. I'm a pro. So
masking is the best thing for that.
I'm like, really? You're looking at me here.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. You grab my arm. You just grab my arm. You just it happened to me once in the islands somewhere, I forget. And the guy just walked by.
Yeah.
And like, you're so hot. I'm like,
great.
I did him, and I was like, I know. And then that, right? Like you come back at him with something they don't expect. Like if you're not part of the biggest part of the battle is don't be intimidated. There's a time and a place to be intimidated, but in moments like that, yeah. Why are you touching me? What
makes you think it's okay?
What makes you think that's okay? And then, I was just joking. Oh, really? So what's funny?
But you weren't.
Why that's funny? And when you ask them to explain it, they're like,
they don't know what to say.
It's not funny.
No.
I'll laugh if you can explain to me why you think that's funny.
You missed your calling of being like a tough cop.
Oh God. Well, I have some really good friends who are cops in the Bronx. Both of them right now are cops in the Bronx. One had been at Rikers, and they're beautiful, strong women. And I worry about them,
Yeah.
They, I don't know if they've done it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But like, why is self-defense so important? Like, to me, it would be just working in a city. Again, like I've been at a pharmacy that was robbed, and you say something in your writings too, that you don't prepare yourself mentally for it, you do freeze. It's like this weird feeling, and you just feel it down your spine and you freeze.
Right. Well, it's fascinating that you talk about the freeze. So there are a couple of points here that we'll get to. They're really important, right? Why self-defense? Because prevention, self-defense is about preparing, right? It's about preparing and acting when you need to. But in order to do what you need to do in the moment, you have to prepare. You have to train. You have to go to a self-defense class. And whether class is not going to make you superwoman, you need to train regularly. It's good for your fitness. It's good for everything, right? So prevention is the best long-term and cost-effective way to stop violence against women and girls, period.
Okay.
The prevention. I mean, we're getting our vaccines, right? You prepare for your longevity and your health with regular visits and self-safe. You prepare for your financial future. Do you prepare for your safety? Not often, oh, I have a gun or whatever. I'm not anti-gun at all.
Right.
But you can't pull it out all the time. You can't, there
react that way. Yeah.
Right. So prevention, training, it's more than just being physical. It's care.
Right.
Like I'm so happy because I get to punch stuff and, work up I'm incredibly fit from doing really only self-defense and martial arts training and, swimming and things like that. But
so cool.
You get very fit, right? And you build this confidence and you walk taller and your eyes are wide open. And things that you wouldn't have necessarily learned before or even thought about, right? I get fantastic questions in private lessons and classes and, and I learn something every time. And, I workshop it and, preparing because no situation is the same.
Right.
The situation is the same. Right. And if you can go to YouTube and look at all these videos, they're great, but what they don't take into account is the situation and the intent of the attacker. Right. Every situation is different. And that's why you practice. You practice for prevention so that in the moment you can react doing exactly what you need to do in the moment. There's no wrong answer.
Right.
There's something, anything. So the second part of your comment about freezing, right?
Freeze.
The freeze. So you have the fight or flight mechanism, which is an autonomic response to your body perceiving threat, right? Your brain, right? So in the animal world, they attack, they fight or flight. We're no different. There's this other element, which, I've been looking into a little bit more. The freeze, everybody knows it happens, right? You freeze.
Right.
Freeze because you don't know what to do. Moment, right? But it's actually part of the fight or flight mechanism, and it's inattentive mobility. You are preparing for your next move. But in that moment, you've created a window of opportunity for your attacker.
Okay.
Make you a victim, right? So
they know that, right?
Because I see it in class. Like even working on a simple wrist grab. I've been, this is fun. We're gonna do it. Grab. Oh, I can't actually get my wrist away because he's holding it with intent to do something.
Right.
And what do I do? Nobody, very rarely do you see, the mechanism or the distraction movement that needs to happen in order for you to disengage. Right. And get to see.
Right.
So, self-defense is a lot more complicated.
It sounds,
Than it's presented. It's not complicated to learn once you come to a couple classes. Okay. I didn't
make sense.
And then you start to train your brain and you're looking around and you're aware of what's going on in your environment. That's half the battle, right?
Right.
If you see what's in front of you, you can't avoid it or defend against it. So just by being aware and not go there, trust your gut.
Well, it's true because the more, more I was reading, women aren't priority. Like, why can't I talk?
We don't prioritize. You sound like
priorities. Me. Priorities. Isaac. This is called Hooked on Phonics today.
Part of our lesson is self-defense.
Why aren't you though? I'm thinking to myself, reading your stuff, why don't I do this? Because I'm in the city all the time. Also, I've had oh my God, this just reminded me. I live in townhouses, right? And years ago when we lived here, there was a state trooper who lived here. You won't even believe this story. I forgot about it until just now. I on purpose, probably.
Right. And that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Compartmentalize it, but then it comes out in different and sometimes inappropriate ways. You're like, why did I react that way?
Yeah.
This is something self-defense class. If you can do it's a part of therapy as well. You can do what you didn't know how to do.
Yeah.
Have an opportunity to do and reenact and sort of get that out of your body.
Right.
You had this a state trooper living in your townhouse.
Oh, right. So back to that. So one Sunday, I feel like we could just go have drinks at this point.
Oh, we're just gonna like, I should look in my room. I think I have whiskey in here. We're getting like 20,000 feet of snow here. So.
Oh, you are?
You've seen the upslope storm. Yeah, we're getting a lot of snow.
Oh my God. We're finally kind of going into spring here in Boston, but March is a bitch. So yesterday it was like 70 and today it's 35 and windy. So
well, we had 70 degrees. Same in Colorado. We had 70 degrees, sunny.
Yeah.
We're gonna
now you're getting snow.
We're gonna get 10 feet of snow in 20 minutes and blah. I'm like, yep. Oh, I'm out.
Oh, March, man. Anyway, so the state trooper, I didn't know it was him at the time. So one Sunday night at 3 a.m, my doorbell rang and I just woke up and like I said, when I got robbed, you just get this tingling, freezing sensation. And I'm sitting in the bed and I'm like, am I dreaming? Because I have chihuahuas, neither one barked. You know what I'm saying? They're on it. So I'm like,
wow, okay.
Maybe I'm dreaming. So I like kind of laid back down, but like you almost like when you're freezing, you get these tingling, like you're like tingling sensations, like paralyzing feeling.
That's part of that's one of the physical responses.
Is it? Okay.
Goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Goosebumps. So
yep.
It rang again a couple minutes later. I'm like, what the hell? So, and I forgot too, our back doors I didn't realize this till my neighbor told me this. She goes, we had doorbells on our back door too. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it was kids just fooling around. Cause I looked out my window and I didn't see anything. Okay. Right. A week later, same time, doorbell rings. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, this is not a coincidence anymore. Right. No. So I had the shade. It was actually in this room. This room was different back then, but I opened the shade and I look out and there's a man standing on the sidewalk across the street looking up at me. And I'm like, I called the police. They didn't see anybody, whatever. At the time, I went around to the neighborhood the next day and he's the only one that didn't answer his door. And then like, I was exhausted. So then like one of my uncles came over, made sure the security system was still up to, everything was up to snuff. And my doorbell rings after he leaves. I'm like, again, I'm trying to take a nap. I was so tired, right? And I open up my window and I'm like, it's him. And I go, yes. He's like, oh, I'm really sorry. Last night I rang your doorbell. I don't know. I'm like, why? And he's like, he couldn't even make a sentence. He's like, I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. And I put down the thing and I immediately called, everybody because he had been beating up his girlfriend around here. We used to see him chasing her around, pulling her hair. He took a bench, he had thrown it. So I was really scared at that point. I was glad when he left, Oh my God. He was a cop. So everybody's here thinking, oh, we're safe.
You're safe.
There's nothing against cops. It's just like, everybody's like,
but they have PTSD and,
right. And he could have been at a war. He probably was one of the guys from Iraq, probably in that age group at the time. Yeah. Oh my God, it scared me. What if I had answered my door? That's what I thought to myself. Right. What if I was stupid enough to do that?
Or you're tired, right? It was late or you were not thinking. It happens all the time in cities, home invasions, like, hey, we're Con Ed or we're whoever we are, the power.
Yeah. You never know.
You don't know. Or magazine. I don't, sorry, Girl Scouts and Girl Scout, all online. Leave the literature, send, leave it on my door. I'll look at it. No, that's awful. And those are things where you need to trust your gut, and you did the right thing. You didn't, you looked around, you tried to ferret it out, talking about it. Right. So this, prevention, and there's a whole component. Self-defense is more than just physical training. Yeah. I really love the physical training, but what I've learned from, teaching different groups of people in getting different questions, right? It's a lot about the internal techniques, I like to call them, which is, the breath control and self-awareness and talking, really like agreeing with yourself, setting boundaries. What are your boundaries, right? And then being clear with your boundaries and clear with your intentions with the other person. Now, that wouldn't have worked in this situation. This situation, you trusted your gut. You did exactly the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go rolling out there and confront the guy. You don't need to, right? You just, you need to know, where he is, who
Right.
he is,
Right.
If you can see what's in front of you, you can avoid it, which you did, or against it if you would have had to. I mean, maybe at some point he would have been waiting for you by your car, right? Like,
right.
Those are the scenarios that I talk about in class. Don't freeze.
That's so true. He used to sit at his door even after. I couldn't wait for him to leave.
Right. You have to, but you also, and you have to also be ready to defend yourself, right? So you've got these internal techniques that you work on,
right.
And then you develop breath control, keep calm, right? Don't let that anti-panic response take control of you.
Yeah.
You practice it. So in my classes, I simulate that with a really intense workout at the beginning. Because the best way, I think, to simulate that anti-panic response is, deprive your brain of oxygen and really do like a HIIT or a jump rope workout. And then you start talking about doing techniques and hitting stuff. And it's like, oh, well, I just want to take a break. Nope, let's go. Let's do that. Because, if you engage with someone, if you have to, more than 3 to 5 seconds, you're in a fight and you don't train for that.
Right. You don't. Mm-hmm.
And nor should you, unless you want to.
Go for it.
You can do that. You can go to my class and we can train for that too.
You do you.
You do you. I'll punch you in the face a couple times. That's fine.
No big deal.
That's what you want.
Regular day.
It's a private class. Yeah, exactly. But trust your gut. Trust your gut. Listen to that's the thing that's going to keep you safe always. Always. Now, in the situations where you don't have time, and it's really a surprise attack, there's a window of opportunity because you're distracted, the grocery store, you're forgetting what you left in there, you're trying to get your keys, you got bags of groceries and you're not paying attention. Boom, there it is. Those are the times when we prepare. Okay, so nobody made any mistakes. There's no blame or shame ever, right? Because women should be able to walk around in the world without fear. Mm-hmm. Any of this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I believe that through prevention, and the more women we can get to do these classes all over the country, everywhere, all the time, we're going to lower the numbers. Mm-hmm. We're going to lower those numbers of reported. Unfortunately, a large number of these crimes go unreported.
Yeah.
That's what I also want to tell women, please report it. So we have better numbers and we can get more funding. And
right.
So no, there's this community element to it, Sarah, that you're not alone. Mm-hmm. Find in the that you shove it down, this horrible thing happens to you, and it could just be a grab or an unkind word or an uncomfortable confrontation where, I've had many times to say, go away. Uh-huh. And it works. I've had some aggression. Oddly enough, I've had more aggressions in Boulder, where I live now.
Really?
Than I did in New York.
That's weird. Who would have thought of that?
It is weird. And I think because there's this tendency here to, if I don't look at it, it's going to go away. Mm-hmm. Well, it's quite not true. New Yorkers tend to be, or people on the East Coast, I find, to be more direct. And you're like, hey, buddy, I'm looking at you. I see you.
Boston too.
Exactly. And at least this is just a theory, right? This is just my experience.
Right.
And I find that, if you don't just directly say, knock it off, get out of here, they won't. They need a direction, right? Sometimes they don't want to hurt you, but it's annoying. Yeah. And it's going to ruin your day, go away. Okay, I'll go away. Or I had in my parking lot of where I was working, this guy, he was going to the bathroom, like had it out. I drive in, I'm wearing skirt and heels, got my hair glasses on like I do now. And I'm like, get out of here, like wrap it up. There's a public bathroom. Whoa. And he came at me. I had my sunglasses. I'm going to show you what I did. And he's like, lady, back off. And I went, put my sunglasses up, and I'm like, all right, come on. And he like, she might be crazy.
Well, the crazy train, right?
But I'm not going to tolerate that. I have 3 kids. I'm not going to tolerate that behavior.
No.
Right?
No.
Like, check yourself. And
right.
Some instances, they're just being a jerk, right? So check yourself. You're not going to have to use, and that's sort of the other thing about self-defense. It's not all physical, right? And
that's a good point. Like, it's words.
It's words. And I teach a lot of sorority girls, right?
Oh, cool.
Right? And there are people trying to break into their houses, and women feel uncomfortable. Young girls and women feel uncomfortable saying something. Not all of us, right? Not all of us. But
I feel you and I are not, but there are people.
Like, hey, and you can see it. They're different personality types, right? It's like, well, and especially when you're young, well, what if they call me a bitch? Or what if they don't like me? I'm like,
who cares? Oh, well.
Train wreck. This isn't your station. Get the fuck out.
Right.
So it's not all physical, right? It's how to, but do we practice it? No, we don't practice it, but you can practice it in a self-defense class with other women who are experiencing the same things, right? And there's a network. You start to build a network and a support. And what I find in my classes is it's just this wonderful energy. And, sometimes people trigger, and that's going to happen. And that's okay, because there is going to judge you, right?
Right.
We're there to support each other. And that's
right.
The more we talk about it, the more we can deal with it.
Right. Well, you have your own little academy there, Battle Women. And so you offer all these training at your place. Now, do you travel? Do you do it online? Where could I do it from Boston, I guess?
From Boston, I have online classes. So right now I'm located in Boulder, but I'll go anywhere to do a seminar in person. It's fun and I love it. I have classes across the Front Range, and I don't have my own location. I go to fitness studios, martial arts studios, Bar Method in Stapleton, Denver has hosted me before, and it's great because
cool.
I think that's a great place and it's fun, right? So I host classes right now in various different locations around Boulder, Denver, Niwot, Longmont, Arvada.
Okay.
And those are live streamed.
Oh, okay.
You can join the class online, right? It's a different class, but there are things you can do in your home to practice it. And I'm building out the mechanism to get people equipment if you want it, using your household
items
as training tools. It's fun to get your kids to do it with you. I have a full dojo in my basement, so I'm that weirdo.
Everybody's like, what is that?
I have a training, I have punching bags of floor that I can roll around and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But I am also developing a teacher training program.
Okay.
That this class can be offered more regularly when I'm not available. Obviously, I can't be everywhere all the time.
Exactly. Especially as you grow.
As I grow, with trusted women, I want to create more opportunities for women to do this. Number one, it's empowering. Number two, nobody knows like a woman what happens to women.
Right.
Why would I want a guy teaching me? Roll around if they don't know what it's like to have someone try to rape them.
No.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You can't be an expert. You can be an expert in teaching, how to strike someone or kick someone. But you can't be an expert in how I'm going to feel when somebody's going to do that. Or do that. Further, you don't know how it feels even to have your wrist grabbed, right? It's a control. So I want more opportunities for women to be able to do this because I think it's going to be empowering. And we know we know what it's like, right? And I have a curriculum that I use, and I want to develop that training program and just bring it everywhere to everyone, schools, young girls,
right,
communities everywhere, colleges, workplace. That's another big one.
Definitely, especially city ones.
Yeah. Yes.
Once we get back from COVID, everybody's home right now.
Oh, I know. But well, you know what's fascinating though? And unfortunately, COVID, what we saw happen is, I believe when I was speaking to one of my friends, the abuse hotlines received less calls.
Oh.
They were trapped with their user. Where are they going to go? And that made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I did hear that, but that I didn't know that the hotlines weren't ringing either. So that was a sign something was wrong.
The suicides went up, and the suicide lines went up as we would have expected, by the end of it. But the abuse hotlines and, the helplines, where are they going to go?
Right. They're stuck.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Yeah.
So, I'm on a mission, and every day I teach a class. Last night I just got an email. Somebody was accosted by a transient, chased him back to their house, banged on their door for 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
I'm going to help you. Let's do this. So it's people are coming out of quarantine, and
they are.
They're aggressive.
Yeah.
They're and
they're angry. There's a lot of anger. I see it in patients. I'm like, we have been here the whole time, and now you're coming in and treating us like this? No.
Right.
That actually just happened the other day, and I couldn't believe I said that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I turned it around on them. I go, you've upset me so much that I can no longer talk to you.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I don't know where it came from. I was sick of it.
Yeah.
Turn it around on them. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. No, that's excellent, because then it makes people go, oh, wow, maybe
I'm out of line. Probably not this guy.
She's experiencing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm experiencing you in a really negative way right now.
I'm all set with you. This is not working for me.
Yeah. You need to take that and go over there.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
Right. But
yeah, I know I could just go on and on about how good you'll feel and how much fun it is and how empowering it is. Now, is this a guarantee? Like I said, the variables are infinite, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you won't be Superwoman after one class. I wish you could be, or one could be, right? But you could be a battle woman, right? And so I do encourage regular training, even if not with me, with somebody who you trust and who's going to give you good advice, who's not just take your money. This is not a revenue generating, obviously I'd like to make a living, right? But this is not,
but you're passionate about it.
But I'm passionate about it, and I'm not trying to sell you. I'm not trying to hook you in with a defense class, but I really want to sell you this other thing. I'm not really, I don't really believe in this, right? I have women's health and wellness in mind, where, many people don't. And or they just don't know, right? I work with I do work with a lot of male instructors at martial arts studios, and they're fantastic. They're wonderful, right? And they're, for right now, they help me teach. Because they can teach the basic skills. But when it comes to, the emotional content and what actually happens physically,
they don't know.
They don't know. They don't know. It's not their fault,
No, it just is.
Yeah, totally.
So what kind of training do you offer in these classes? What would you get? Like, what if somebody grabbed my wrist? What would you, advice would you give somebody? Like, say if this happened before I took your class.
Right. So, this is where we're talking about the variables. If it's a static wrist grab and somebody's just trying to hold you there, I teach you 4 basic strikes. I call them the travel light techniques. You start out with 4 basic strikes, and we drill those and develop them until you can use them. You can pull them out when you need them, and just about any situation if you need to. Most of my techniques at the beginner level pull from the same technique, just using it in a different way. And depending on you and your body and your personality, then I work with you to sort of into your, how it work best for you, right?
Can you hear the snoring?
I love it.
I'm just about to poke him. Hold on. I'm just about to poke him because I'm like, he's kind of getting loud. He's like literally. Maverick. He's snoring.
Like, I don't need no self-defense.
He's like, I'm taking a snooze.
I'm taking a snooze.
He's just looking at me like, why are you waking me up?
Hey, lady.
Sorry about that. I was like, it was just getting so loud. I was like, I wonder if she can hear that.
I did. My ear started to do it, and I was like,
yeah,
that little puppy. That's a loud snore for that for a little body like that.
Oh, he's a fatty.
Oh, is he?
Oh my God, I get fat shamed. I took him to the vet. He hurt his arm a couple weeks ago, and it's a newer vet because I don't know what's going on with our vet that we've gone to since like I was a kid. I think they're just overwhelmed, and he hurt his arm. So I had his dog walker I had to take him because I was working, and they're like, his weight went up 3 pounds. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. I adopted him, but I think he's half corgi because he's got the corgi butt look. And he's very docile and he loves people and he's social. He's so not Chihuahua like. Where my other one, you can probably hear the squeak toy. He's running around like a madman and barking. He's not in here. He's not allowed in.
I love it. I love it.
I get fat shamed.
They remind me of me because they're all like short.
Yeah. Short and feisty.
Short and feisty.
So anyway, all right. So back to so when you do get grabbed by the wrist, what are the 4 things?
So all if it's a static wrist grab,
okay.
Just so if there's an intent to keep you there, you're not going to be able to just pull out. In a self-defense video or whatever, you pull against the weak part of the thumb and you can just immediately step out, and that's
I wouldn't know what to do.
Not true, because they're grabbing you for a reason, right? So on all those videos they show, or many of these videos, it's the attacker is very amenable to you getting away, which is fascinating to me. in real life, they're grabbing you and they're either going to pull you, it'll either escalate into a pull, but if it's just a static wrist grab, you're not in immediate danger, so you don't have to bring out the nuclear warheads right then. I like to deploy kicks to the knee.
Okay.
Knee, it distracts them, and I call tenderizes them, and you can pull out, and you create distance. Like, what up? Then you can see what's going on in front of you, and then you have other tools if you need them. But right then, you don't need to go all crazy, go all post all over me. Just kick the knee multiple times. You miss multiple times, because if you miss the knee once, you'll hit it eventually. Look at them. Keep contact with them. Don't pretend it's not happening, and don't try to get away before you've done the thing that's going to help you get away.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of women will try to, they'll kind of kick and pull.
Going backward. Yeah.
Right. If you start pulling, they're going to pull. Now you're in a struggle.
They kind of go with you.
No, they're going to pull against you.
Oh, okay.
Right? And you're going to pull. You could fall, and that's a really bad place to be. But I'll teach you how to get up. You don't want to do that. You don't want to turn away and try to kind of kick at them. Again, your balance, but they can grab you in a different way from behind if you try to pull away before you've done the thing.
Okay.
Eye contact with them, because now you have eye contact, and when you start kicking them, they're not going to see that coming, right? So that sounds really simple, and it's not. I could teach a year-long course on just a wrist grab, right? And how to get out of it in different situations, because then you think about, what am I wearing? I'm wearing heels. Am I barefoot? Do I have sneakers on? Is it winter? Is it summer? Am I at the beach? Am I at the grocery store? Do I have kids? Is there somebody else around? What are the variables? How big is he is really, and what is his intent?
Mm-hmm.
That is what is not taken into account in a lot of these tutorials and seminars.
Mm-hmm.
Intent of the attacker, right?
Okay.
And that, when you get, even me, I've done this thousands of times for many, 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 many years.
Mm-hmm.
When I get grabbed, my heart rate, boom, immediately. It's
Yeah.
an autonomic, it's going to happen.
This happens.
Boom. And I'm like, ooh, but what I do now is I go right into, I do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you're going to get that freeze. The minute you get grabbed, doesn't matter where, simple wrist grab, I see it.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
And
everybody does that.
You hold your breath. So
Mm-hmm.
breathe. And if they start to pull you, then you don't kick in that situation. If you get into a struggle,
mm-hmm.
or they immediately start pulling you, if that's the first thing that happens. It happened to my mother when she was 13. She told me that's why I teach this pull. The town guy grabbed her and tried to pull her into the alley. Okay.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
How do I do this, Mom? What's the best thing that I could do for a wrist pull? Or it escalates from that static wrist grab. It's a thing called a palm heel. And you hit with the heel of your palm. And you're aiming for the jawline. And this palm heel can go, there's many, many targets you can deploy this weapon towards, right? But in this situation, you're heading towards the face. Nobody likes a hand in the face, especially now. You can aim at the chin. Where the head goes, the body follows. You crack that a few times. They pull you, if you can imagine this, they pull you. You're going to pull against it for just a second, because that's what your natural instinct is going to want you to do. That's okay. Use it. Do it. Pull and a rubber band, use their momentum, and they're pulling you to snap.
Let's come back in.
Right in the chin. Sometimes I get the throat, the philtrum right there. That hurts. You crack them, and you're going to keep going past them. If you, at the same time, this is hard to describe with just.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah.
At the same time, you're going to go running by them. You're going to get your hand free. You may not need to deploy more of these palm heels, striking to the face. If you push up under the chin, you can even do this to yourself, where the head goes, the body follows. They can't defend against that. They're going to go back. And sometimes I grab the back of the hair and I bounce their floor like a basketball. And as I'm getting away.
That I didn't know any of that. So
but if you're trying to pull me, to a secondary location like your car or the alley, no.
Not happening.
By the way, you will not be doing that.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan.
Had many of those moments in a lifetime, right?
Right. Maybe that should be the title of my book.
Not today.
Battle Woman Level 1, not today, Satan.
Right. And
do something, do something, anything. I mean, that's really the I teach you these travel light techniques, and we drill them, and we hit pads, and we do workouts. All my workouts are functional, right? Like, you do Beachbody, Shanti. I love all those people, by the way. And a lot of those moves have a purpose.
Okay.
So I take those moves, I steal their moves. But this is what you can think about while you're doing it. So developing a skill with purpose, it's going to develop your fundamental, your fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
And your athleticism and all your attributes that are great about you personally. You just use them. I'll teach you a basic technique, and then you do what works for you in the moment. It's not going to be, self-defense is so dirty and messy. There's no right or wrong answer other than do something, anything to keep yourself safe, right? Yeah. Jump out of the bushes and go wrong.
Well, I have pepper. I got my pepper spray all the time. I call it my safety thing. Some places I have had to I've worked in some places in Boston that we call it methadone mile. That's where all the drug people are, and you never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Have you had to deploy it?
No.
Lucky you. You should test it. I've had reports of
and not working.
That it malfunctioned.
How do you test it?
You have to just spray it.
I'll probably spray myself though.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? Think about it. If you do deploy it, you are going to get some, depending on if you're outside. You should be able to, I believe, take that a little bit and still be able to function and get away.
Mm-hmm.
Likelihood that you're going to be the recipient of a little bit of that pepper spray or we have bear spray here.
Oh.
Is pepper spray legal? I feel like it was illegal.
It wasn't legal until probably a couple years ago. We could finally get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm all for it. I'm all for all the weapons.
I accidentally brought, this is funny. I wasn't thinking, it's on my keychain. So I go to the airport a couple months ago and they're going through my bag. I'm like, I don't have anything. They're like, you have pepper spray. And I wanted to say to them, I used to have mace, but one of my dogs ate the other wild man. I don't know how he didn't spray himself. He ate the top off of it. But I accidentally flew with that so many times. And I get to my destination and be like, oh my God, I have mace with me. And I fly back. Nobody detected that, but my pepper spray, they were all over.
Yeah.
Are the kiddos back?
The kind of weapons I travel with.
Yeah.
We won't talk about it. Oh, I guess you're gonna delete this, right?
Yeah.
You're only gonna put on. I got.
You want this deleted? This part, Eliana. This is a delete. Here we go. The confessional.
I had a switchblade in my bag, and I couldn't find it. And I had Kubotans. So they find my pink switchblade.
What's a Kubotan?
I'll show you. I took it out.
She's like, I have an arsenal. Oh,
so it's a keychain.
Oh,
they and I had
it's like knuckles, the knuckle thing.
It's here. It's metal. It's heavy. So it's comes through the knuckles, right? But it's also has a point, so like you could stab them here.
Yeah, I mean you have to.
And like even if you fall in the foot, like this is wonderful. I also wait, hold on, look. Wait.
Let me get my arsenal out.
This is so funny. Wait, can you see it?
It's like a curling iron. Oh, I have one of those.
Yeah,
somewhere.
It's an extendable baton.
I had it. I don't know where it is right now because somebody from some reality TV show was like, you need one of these, put it under your seat. But you know what? I don't know. I had a car accident, so it may got lost in that 2 years ago.
Flashlights are good.
Okay.
With a flashlight on the end too.
That's cool. I need one.
I like.
Just don't bring it to the airport.
I know. I was like, oh, well, you can take it. Well, ma'am, we're sorry because it was a switchblade. I was in trouble then.
Oh, really?
They didn't just take it. So yeah, I'm temporarily banned from TSA pre.
Is it a temporary ban? Can you go back to it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've flown since, but I made sure I got a different bag. There's it's only clothes in it. And
you do I look like I'm somebody who's going to do something?
Well, it's funny. You know what was funny? I was like, listen, I could get my bare hands. I
don't really need this.
I don't really need that.
When you're banned, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm like, listen, you've got to have had worse than this.
Mm-hmm.
The really small airport, so they have a lot more time on their hands.
That's what it is. It's the smaller ones. It was Logan that they noticed. I was shocked, but you know what? There was no one there because nobody was flying in November.
Yeah.
So they had nothing better to do. And then they're going through my mom's bag. And she can't help herself. She's 70 years old and she's always been mouthy. And she's muttering to me. And I'm just trying to get away from the situation. And she's like, what are they? She's like, looks at me. She goes, what are they looking for? Like, I have anything? What? And the lady's like, do you have a problem? I'm like, oh my God. Do you have a problem, ma'am? She's like, no, I didn't say anything. I'm like, oh my God. I'm going to go over here.
I don't know that lady.
I say nothing to these people. I just let them be. I don't even want to be on their radar.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yep,
Whatever you want, take it all.
Too funny.
All of it.
Yeah. But
so I'd love to let's do a class.
I know we should. I would love to do it. I'll
come to Boston. I love Boston.
I know. Yeah. Let's do something this year.
Yeah.
I got some girls that need to learn this stuff for sure.
It's fun, right? And I would just, we'll figure it out. We go to a park. I teach. I'm getting into my busy time. I do classes outside.
Oh, perfect.
It's because it's why not? I mean,
right.
You're going to be outside most of the time anyway.
Right.
I also do specialized, I have a curriculum, right? And then I have a seminar curriculum, and I have an ongoing curriculum that you can become a member online. I do one-on-one sessions, private lessons, little groups, big group, all of it. But I also do groups like runners.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of runners while you're talking about this, because they're always fun. Like that happens all the time in Boston.
Yeah, same here. Different, like out on the trails, you're alone, right? Same. We've had incidences. Real estate agents is the other one, because close.
There was like one of those true crimes about a real estate agent that went missing and was killed when she was doing an open house.
Yeah, it happens more frequently than I would like to.
It's like me earlier. Yeah,
you're right. Exactly. They make an appointment via a home or whatever, and show up, and you're alone with them.
Right.
And so, I've got a technique for everything. I've got a training mechanism for everything. I'm that guy. I sit in the dentist chair. What if he did this to me? I would do this.
Oh my God. Always think, but you know what? People have been attacked that way too. So it's all legit thoughts. It's
all legit. And you know what? Let me do that for you. Let me do risk management planning for you.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about it. And then we can talk about it. Right. But I want women to be able to shed the fear, right? Shed fear and be able to walk around in the world without it. Right. And have the confidence and feel empowered that, you're not going to, walk around ready to attack, ready to be the attacker, ready to defend time. But the confidence comes from learning the skills, knowing that if you have it, if you need it. Right.
You just knowing it. Right. I agree.
And most of the time, and I could tell you time after time after time that I've had instances, most of the time just using my voice stops it.
Yeah.
And,
that's good to know. My mom always like if she's had people, she'll just like scream.
Yeah.
And yell at them. And I'll be like, what do you, well, as you can see, mouthy Betty, I'm like, what is she doing now?
Hey, I see you. That's part of it. Making eye contact.
Okay.
Knowing that you're ready, right? I see you, and I'm not going to take my eyes off you.
Yeah.
Right? Even if they've got you by the wrist, right? Like, I'm looking at you.
Oh yeah, you think this is going to happen? That's what you should think when you're looking at them, right?
Yeah. And they see that. And the same thing, just as you're walking down the street, don't pretend they're not there. Look, acknowledge them. I see you, and then make sure, if your gut tells you that person's not right, go across the street, get help, whatever. And it's okay to not help someone, by the way. Women are raised to be pleasers, right?
Yeah.
Saying no, it's okay to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you, but I, maybe that somebody else can. Never feel uncomfortable doing something to assuage your own fear.
Right. I don't, but
no.
a lot of girls are people pleasers. I think the older you get, I'm not kidding, you're just like, whatever, no. But younger, my younger version of Sarah probably would have been like, oh, what's wrong?
Yeah, me too. Can I take you? Oh, okay. I had asked me, this is great. My car was burgled, and I was said to this homeless guy, I'm like, hey, did you see who got in my, of course I did. Did you see who got in my car?
Yeah.
And no, but if you let me get in with you, this was just a month ago. If you let me get in with you and drive me over here, I saw your stuff. And I was like,
oh, you did?
You've got to be kidding me. Right.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah. I'm like, right. you want to get in my car? You want to get in the back seat of my car? He was very specific about it. I'm like,
was he?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah, sure.
I'm like, I should get out and I should just
beat the shit out of him
right now. I'm like, keep my stuff.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. A point I do want to make about the prevention for you. I think it's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
The cost, and maybe I said this at the beginning and I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
The cost per person is north of $122,000 as reported by the CDC per victim.
Wow.
In healthcare, because what you have is PTSD, depression, substance abuse, maybe there's a rape-related pregnancy,
right,
cancer, and then the cost, the criminal justice system cost, incarceration and investigation, all that together, about $122,000 per victim. Now multiply that by 25 million reported rapes. That's just reported rapes.
Right.
$3 trillion.
That's crazy.
Why aren't we preventing this? Why?
Right.
Explain to me.
Right.
We can lower that number, right?
It's insane the things that people don't understand, like even accidents, car accidents, little things, not little, but things like this can just change your life, and people don't realize that. And I get that,
Yeah. It's crazy. And and I want people to know, in the cheap seats, the target age range is, 18 to 34 is the highest, is the most likely victim age group.
I believe that. It's like I say, you're a little bit more naive at that point.
Yeah. And then, our age group, I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm 48. So I'll just put that out there right now.
I'm 43, so it's okay.
Gen Z, Gen X.
I don't care. Like, I'm like, you know what? I got plenty of things I can talk about more now than I ever. And
right.
I don't care. I'm looking all right for 43. So
you look amazing.
Thanks. Not today. This is my lazy day, but
you're a little bit tan. I'm like very pale.
I think it's the lighting in here because I haven't had a tan in like 2 years now. Thanks, COVID.
Yes, it looks good on camera. I'm like for all I guess it's a long winter. But
yeah. It's been a very long winter. But so where can people reach out to you so they can go and talk to you? If they're a victim themselves, they could reach out to you. What's a good place to talk to you?
You can reach me at www.battlewoman.com. Instagram, I am at Real Battle Mom. So I'm Battle Mom, and my daughter is Battle Girl.
Oh, that's so funny.
I have the Battle Woman community, so I own all of those trademarks. So
perfect.
Instagram, Real Battle Mom on Instagram.
Okay.
YouTube channel. It's all you can access it all through my site. I have a Facebook page, Real Battle Mom Self Defense. I'm out there. You can send me an email, info@battlewoman.com if you have questions or want to schedule a class. My site is being ripped apart and made
that happens
better.
Yep.
And it's up, and I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. Filming a lot of great video.
Awesome.
And getting interviews and more classes all the time coming online. I do this full time now. So this is my mission, and I want to make it work. And I want everyone in the world, I'm going to say domination for women.
Yep.
I want everyone to be able to have this. I get a lot of dads who bring their daughters, and I find that so heartwarming.
That's good because you need it.
Yeah. And mother-daughter classes are fun. But yeah, you can reach me. I mean, I'm out there. You can find me anywhere. Battlewoman.com.
On the socials.
I got good video. I got some video of me beating up the guys.
Beating up the men. Beating up those men. She's got some
That's
big
right.
arms. I'm like, I need my muscles back like that sometime.
I know, right? Just do some push-ups and whatever. I'm like, I'm like, attack me when I used to when I was working full time. I was like, hey, whatever coworker, I said, attack me, grab me. Rachel, no. I'm like,
I'm not playing today, Rachel.
Shove me against the wall. Can you shove me against the wall? I need to practice with somebody your size. No, Rachel, no.
You're like, I'm not the guinea pig here.
Look, I promise I won't hurt you. I promise. I just want to see what's going to happen if I do this one thing.
No. Well, hang tight, but thank you so much for staying here and educating us. I mean, there was a lot I didn't know, and this is very informative. And ladies, we need to learn this. We definitely do. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank you, Sarah. It was really, really fun.
All right. We'll see you soon. I'm sure we'll be chatting. Maybe we'll be doing a class soon.
We better.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Sessions with Sarah. We will see you next week. We'll have some more fun guests, and have a good week. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Helium Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and should not be construed in any way as advice from Helium Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by the producers, writers, and editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the express written consent of Helium Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.